In the 60s, there were a lot of great classic sci-fi films. Films like The Time Machine, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and the original Planet of the Apes. But there were also many other movies in the sci-fi genre that you may have missed. All lists are subjective, of course, but this is my list of must-see sci-fi films of the 1960s. If you agree or disagree, leave your favorites in the comments below, and now, let's get into it. Fantasy, sci-fi, nostalgia, rerun zone. The Illustrated Man, 1969.
They're not tattoos, they're skin illustrations. Don't you ever call them tattoos.
Imagine that you stumble upon a drifter whose skin is a canvas of nightmares, each tattoo a portal to a story more bizarre and chilling than the last. That's the premise behind The Illustrated Man, a film that takes Ray Bradbury's macabre tales and paints them across the flesh of a mysterious wanderer. This isn't your typical movie night fare. It's a cinematic seance where reality and fantasy merge, creating a tapestry of terror that's as beautiful as it is unsettling. The Illustrated Man doesn't just show you the dark side of humanity, it makes you live it, breathe it, until you're not sure if you're watching a film or if the film is watching you. It's a journey through the looking glass where every reflection is a distorted echo of our deepest fears, wrapped in the experimental mind-bending style of late 60s filmmaking. When the credits roll, you won't just be haunted, you'll be part of the haunting. Crack in the World, 1965.
We have caused a crack in the Earth's crust.
In Crack in the World, an international team of scientists working on Project Inner Space attempts to tap into the Earth's geothermal energy by drilling deep into the planet's core. Led by Dr. Steven Sorensen, they plan to use an atomic device to break through an extremely dense layer of material. But the project's chief geologist warns them that this could have catastrophic results. Despite those concerns, the device is detonated anyway, leading to a massive crack in the Earth's crust that causes planet-wide destruction. The crack threatens to encircle the entire planet, potentially destroying the Earth. The team tries to stop it by detonating another atomic device, which changes the crack's direction. This film is a tense sci-fi drama where the pursuit of progress could lead to the ultimate destruction of Earth. The Valley of Gangi, 1969. This film is a wild blend of Western and dinosaur adventure. The Valley of Gangi takes audiences to a hidden valley where prehistoric creatures still roam. Cowboys seeking fame and fortune capture a living dinosaur to display in a circus, but the plan quickly goes awry. Ray Harryhausen's legendary stop-motion animation brings the creatures to life and creates a thrilling spectacle of man versus nature. The film captures the adventurous spirit of 1960s cinema. It's a nostalgic trip to a time when dinosaurs and cowboys could share the screen in a thrilling tale of survival. Originally conceived by Willis O'Brien, the effects wizard behind the original King Kong, the script, written in 1942, was rewritten and turned over to Warner Brothers. This film was a predecessor and definitely an influence on Jurassic Park. It's a must-see for every dinosaur and sci-fi aficionado. The Day of the Triffids, 1963.
Then how does it move?
All plants move. They don't usually pull themselves out of the ground and chase you.
Are you afraid of plants? Well, you will be after this one. This movie paints a terrifying picture of a world in chaos after a meteor shower blinds most of the population. In this new dark age, aggressive, flesh-eating plants called Triffids start to overrun the Earth, feeding on vulnerable people. The story follows a handful of sighted survivors as they battle these monstrous plants while just trying to stay alive. Combining science fiction with horror elements, it's a chilling reminder of how quickly our lives can become the stuff of nightmares when the natural world around us turns against us. The Gorgon, 1964.
There were 3 hideous monsters, sisters. They were called Gorgons.
Set in a small European village at the turn of the century, The Gorgon combines Gothic horror with Greek mythology. A terrifying creature from ancient legend, capable of turning people to stone with a glance, has taken human form and is wreaking havoc. As villagers succumb to the curse, a young doctor and a professor delve into the mystery, uncovering secrets that should have remained buried. The film's eerie atmosphere, combined with the chilling performances of Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, makes it a standout in the Hammer horror film collection. It's a haunting tale that prompts the fear and the fascination of the unknown. First Men in the Moon, 1964.
What I'm experimenting with is a sort of coating, or rather a metallic paste, which will, in point of fact, cut off the force of gravity.
In 1964, UN astronauts land on the moon, only to find out that they aren't the first to set foot on the lunar surface. A tattered Union Jack flag and a note claiming the moon for Queen Victoria, dated 65 years earlier, lead them on a journey back to 1899. Arnold Bedford, now an elderly man in a nursing home and dismissed as delusional, recounts an incredible tale. Teaming up with the eccentric inventor Joseph Cavor and his fiancée Catherine Callender, they embarked on a daring adventure to the moon using a gravity-defying substance called cavorite. Based on the H.G. Wells novel of the same name, First Men in the Moon tells the story of that Victorian expedition to the moon, only to discover it's already inhabited by an advanced civilization. The explorers encounter moon creatures, underground cities, and a forgotten alien insectoid race called the Selenites. Settle back with a bucket of popcorn and get ready for a real Saturday afternoon treat with this movie. It's right up there with The Time Machine for sci-fi adventure. Robinson Crusoe on Mars, 1964.
Mars gravity's taking over, pulling us down. Prepare to eject. Emergency procedure.
In Robinson Crusoe on Mars, Commander Kit Draper and Colonel Dan McReady crash land on Mars after a near miss with a meteoroid forces them to use their lifeboat pods. Draper, separated from McReady, struggles to survive in the harsh Martian environment. He finds a cave for shelter, burns coal-like rocks that produce oxygen, and finds a water source thanks to a monkey named Mona that they brought with them on the trip. The isolation starts to take its toll on Draper, which leads to hallucinations and despair as he watches his spaceship orbit overhead. He discovers a skeletal alien and later encounters a group of human-like slaves. After rescuing one, whom he names Friday, they form a bond while evading alien captors. In the end, hope arrives as a spaceship approaches, signaling a possible rescue. A reimagining of the classic tale, Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe, Robinson Crusoe on Mars, the film, beautifully captures the loneliness and desolation of space and shows the resilience of the human spirit. It's an age-old tale of survival against all odds, set against the vastness of space. X, The Man with the X-Ray Eyes, 1963.
Bandages? Oh, yes. I hardly noticed them. Hardly noticed them at all.
Dr. James Xavier, driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge, creates eye drops that extend human vision beyond the visible light spectrum into ultraviolet and X-ray wavelengths. Impatient to unlock the secrets of the drops, he tests them on himself and discovers he can see through objects and diagnose hidden ailments. But as his vision expands, he loses his ability to control it. Eventually, Xavier can perceive only abstract forms of light and texture, rendering the world incomprehensible to him. In this chilling tale, Dr. James Xavier loses touch with the world and descends into madness. What begins as a scientific triumph spirals into a nightmare where Xavier sees more than any human was meant to. He becomes a carnival sideshow act and exploits his powers until his mind starts to unravel. In a final desperate act, he drives into the desert, pursued by hallucinations of cosmic horrors. Directed by King of Cult Roger Corman, this film should definitely be added to your list of 1960s hidden gems. Mysterious Island, 1961. A group of Civil War soldiers make a daring escape from a military prison. Along with a guard who can pilot a balloon, they ascend into the skies, only to be swept across the Pacific Ocean by a fierce storm. The balloon crashes on an uncharted island, and what initially seems like paradise quickly turns dangerous as they find giant creatures, hidden dangers, and a world lost to time. As the castaways settle into a cave, they find a mysterious chest filled with supplies, including rifles marked with the name Nautilus. Eventually, they encounter Captain Nemo, the legendary submariner who has been secretly helping them the whole time. Nemo reveals his experiments to create giant creatures as a solution to global hunger, and offers to help the group escape the island. However, as they prepare to leave, the island's volcano erupts. Based on the adventure-filled novel by Jules Verne, Mysterious Island is a tale of survival and just plain old sci-fi goodness. Fantastic Voyage, 1966.
Brace yourself. There should be a tremendous surge when the heart starts up again.
If it does.
In Fantastic Voyage, the United States and the Soviet Union have developed a technology that's capable of shrinking matter to a microscopic scale, but it only lasts for 1 hour. A Russian scientist who's discovered how to make the process permanent is critically injured while defecting to the West. To save his life, a team of specialists are miniaturized and injected into his body aboard the submarine Proteus. Their mission is to remove a blood clot in his brain within 60 minutes, or they'll revert to full size inside of his body. As they navigate through the scientist's bloodstream, the team encounters many challenges, including a detour through the heart and sabotage by a crew member. Known for its groundbreaking special effects, Fantastic Voyage takes audiences on an unforgettable journey inside the human body, a true visual marvel of its time. Quatermass and the Pit, 1967.
Harder than diamond. That's the material every rocket engineer's been looking for. What are you trying to say? That the Germans didn't make this and then lose the secret.
In Quatermass in the Pit, workers extending the London Underground subway uncover a 5 million year old ape-man skull and a mysterious metallic object. Believing it's an unexploded bomb from World War II, they call in the military. But Professor Quatermass and Dr. Roney discover that the object is actually a Martian spaceship buried for millions of years. Inside the ship, they find insectoid Martian corpses and learn that these aliens genetically altered early humans to create a colony on Earth. As they look deeper, strange occurrences intensify around the subway, triggering powerful psychic phenomenon in Londoners. A terrifying climax happens when the spaceship's energy is accidentally unleashed, causing telekinetic chaos and a spectral Martian image to loom over London. It's considered one of the best Hammer horror films and has a strong cult following. In this classic, ancient evil meets futuristic fears and spirals into a terrifying encounter with an alien presence that predates humanity. It's the essence of 1960s British sci-fi. Village of the Damned, 1960.
That means that every woman in this village who is capable of childbirth is going to have a baby.
In the quiet British village of Midwich, a mysterious event causes all of its residents to suddenly fall unconscious. When they awaken, every woman of childbearing age is mysteriously pregnant. The pregnancies culminate in the birth of strangely identical children with striking platinum blonde hair and arresting eyes. As they get older, it becomes clear that these children aren't normal. They possess a telepathic bond that allows them to share knowledge instantly and control others' actions. Professor Gordon Zellaby, whose own son David is one of them, begins to uncover the dark truth about the children. They are not of this world. Attempts to understand and reason with them prove futile, as they demonstrate their dangerous powers, causing fear and death in the village. Realizing the children's inhuman nature, Zellaby makes the ultimate sacrifice. Village of the Damned, adapted from the novel The Midwich Cuckoos, is the original Children Born as Mutants film, predating even the Twilight Zone's It's a Good Life. Still creepy even today, this film really freaked me out when I first saw it. The cold-blooded nature of these mutant children will really send a chill up your spine. It's another must-see sci-fi thriller to put on your popcorn bucket list. And that's it for my list of the hidden gems of sci-fi movies from the 1960s. If you have any you'd like to add to the list, make sure you put them in the comments below. This is Rich from Rerun Zone. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.